Hello, hello, good morning. All right, we'll have a couple of folks joining on. Good morning, everyone. My name is Alex Rodriguez, and I am one of the CIFPAC support staff for our fall mixer. Thank you for coming to our 2024 fall mixer, Scaling for Success, Supplier Development Tools for Farms and Food Businesses, hosted by the GFPI team. The Good Food Purchasing Initiative program and all of our partners are working together to think through of how we can make a Chicago more resilient with our food system and more equitable, and going through some of the different programming that we have, how we could also uplift our different food, like food suppliers, food businesses, and provide them with resources such as events like this one. Thank you for joining for today's session. The one that you are in is Understanding Illinois Extension and its role in building a resilient food system, featuring Catherine Perea, James McCombs, and Tasha Regans. And we also do have a Spanish interpretation if you do need it. You could just click underneath in the globe where it says interpretation and tune into Spanish if you need it. And if not, go ahead and we could get started. I'm going to hand it over to Catherine to get us kicked off. And if you have any questions, feel free to use the chat box. And feel free to introduce yourself in the chat box as well. But yeah, I'm going to hand it over to Catherine.
Great. Thank you so much, Alex. I am going to turn off my video while I present in just a minute. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining us today. I wanted to give a little background on this presentation. It came about actually in a meeting I was in with British Griffiths and Sarah Horner from Compeer Financial. And as we were talking and discussing about what kinds of presentations we could give for this event, um, we realized that they didn't know a lot about extension. And if they didn't know a lot, it was likely that our small farmers, food producers, food system supporters were also unaware of all the free resources and educational opportunities with University of Illinois Extension. So that's how this came about. And today I am joined by two of my colleagues here in Cook County whose work also involves building a resilient food system, and I'll let them briefly introduce themselves. So, James, if you want to come on camera and say hello.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. My name is James McCombs. I'm a SNAP Ed educator in Cook County. SNAP Ed stands for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program Education Program. It works to increase healthy food access and improve diet quality, as well as physical activity in communities with a high prevalence of the SNAP eligible population. Thank you.
Thanks, James. And Tasha?
Hello, everyone. My name is Latasha Riggins. I'm a 4-H Youth Development Educator with Extension. Excited to be here. I've been with Extension for about 8 years and with 4-H for about 2 years. So I'm excited to tell you more about what 4-H is and how it fits in with Extension.
Great, thank you. And we'll hear both from both of them a little bit later. And we won't be able to cover all our available resources, but hopefully by the end of this presentation, you'll have a better idea of where to look for information from us and how to access it. So first off, for those of you who don't know, Extension is a nationwide public service. And it was a series of acts of Congress that set up this system. So the first was the Morrill Act of 1862, which created these land grant public educational universities so that all citizens could have equal access to higher education. Initially, these universities had a focus on farming and mechanical skills, and University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign is one of these initial 1862 institutions. Later on, we had additional Morrill Acts of 1890 and 1994, which established more land grant institutions to address educational inequality among African Americans and Native Americans. And this is why on this map, you see that some states have more than one land grant institution. Also in the 1800s, we had the Hatch Act of 1887, and this strengthened the capacity of these land grant universities to research agricultural problems. And this act funded agricultural experiment stations based at the university. Later on in the early 20th century, 1914, we had the Smith-Lever Act, which created this cooperative extension service associated with each land-grant institution. And initially, this was a partnership, right, between these agricultural colleges and universities and USDA to disseminate information that was produced at the experiment stations. As we fast forward to today, there's been several reorganizations, but right now we fall under the USDA's National Institute of Food and Agriculture, which is NIFA. So that's who sort of provides our directives for the initiatives we're going to work on, and that's who sends us funding, which your tax dollars pay for. So these days, in addition to food and agriculture, Extension addresses issues like food security, climate change, natural resources, and environmental sustainability, bioenergy, childhood obesity prevention, food safety, and urban agriculture, among many other topics. So, as I already said, our land grant institution is the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, and Illinois Extension is a department within the College of Agricultural, Consumer, and Environmental Sciences, although we do work with colleges and units across our university system. We are also part of the greater University of Illinois system, which includes the University of Illinois Chicago and the University of Illinois Springfield. So sometimes, you know, those of us are here based in Cook County, people think we work for the University of Illinois Chicago. No, we work for the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, but UIC, of course, is our sister institution through the University of Illinois system. So Illinois Extension is located in all 102 Illinois counties. Cook County is the only unit which is comprised of a single county. You can see on the color coding in this map that all the other states have 2 or more counties. Also on this slide are leadership positions that I work with the most, and likely you as Northern Illinois farmers and food system practitioners will interact with the most. Some of you may also know our Assistant Dean, Jennifer McCaffrey, who oversees our Family and Consumer Sciences teams, and she works on the Illinois Eats program. I know they were presenting for this event. Others of you may have also encountered our Assistant Dean for Natural Resources, Environment, and Energy, Shibu Kar. So around the state, we have at least 650 staff in total and are currently sort of on an upswing and increasing our numbers after reorganization and state funding cutbacks about 13 or 14 years ago. In Cook County, we have about 75 employees, although I've heard it said ideally we should have over 100. And finally, I should mention that we now here in Cook County have a brand new assistant director for Cook County, which is pretty exciting. And his name is Leonard Parker. So right now in Extension, we are going through a new strategic plan, a launch of that. And this, from what I've seen, it really is going to help clarify who we are and what we do. And my favorite part of it is this new mission statement that really explains this is what we do, that education is our wheelhouse, right? We're here to bring knowledge that's typically housed in the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign to the people, right? People like you who are working hard to improve their lives, their communities, their environment. And this, of course, includes food systems. Our vision is a little bit longer in terms of the number of words, but the meaning behind it is that we see a world in which we have sustainable development, lifelong learning, and community resilience, especially in terms of things like the environment, food and agriculture, public health, and the economy. And that Illinois Extension is committed to being a catalyst for positive social change and to bring you the tools that you need to make this happen. So these are core values. These are new. These are things we've always practiced, but now they're being stated very explicitly for the public. And we're held to these standards as Illinois Extension employees. Our annual reviews and promotion are based on these values, and we have lots of reporting requirements to ensure we're meeting these values. Just as a quick example, many of you who have participated in our programs know that we are required to collect and report program participant demographics to demonstrate that we, at a minimum, are reaching parity, meaning that all our participants must reflect the demographic makeup of our population. We're reviewed by an independent board every few years to see how we're doing. And if we're not meeting those standards, we have to submit plans to show how we're going to improve. So these are our not new strategic priorities, but very clearly laid out strategic priorities. And two of them are new, in fact, new in terms of their being explicitly stated, right? So in addition to our 6 core focus areas, which are community, economy, environment, food, and agriculture, health and technology, we're now explicitly saying that we are working in partnerships. We always have, but now it's being explicitly stated. And they're also explicitly stating that they're committed to developing our workforce excellence, meaning Illinois Extension staff will be getting even additional training to better meet your needs. So while my position generally falls under the food and agriculture priority, some of my work will cross over into the environment or the economy and into the community priority areas. And I say all of us sort of have this crossover work that we do. So in Cook County, we do have 6 offices that are all open to the public during Monday through Friday. I'm located on the south side of Chicago at 8753 South Greenwood, and our main administrative office is just next door. So you can only see one dot on the map, but there's actually 2 right down here. Tasha and James are located in South Suburban Cook County in our Matson office, along with my colleague Zach Grant, who some of you know is housed down there. So in Cook County, we have 8 program focus areas, 5 of which work in various capacities on food system issues. So horticulture, 4-H, community health, local food systems and small farms, and our Illinois nutrition education programs are all really focused on food. The other program areas may from time to time cross over into food system issues. So for example, our natural resources team and STEM contribute to our composting initiative. And natural resources also works on educating about our waterways and climate change, which are issues that are very important and tied to our food system. We also often work collaboratively across these teams. So later on, Natasha is going to tell you about how horticulture and 4-H teams are collaborating on developing a junior master gardener program. All right, now here's where things are going to get just a little tricky for me. I'm going to stop this share and switch over to our website because I want to show you how I go about finding things here so you can too. So what I do, I come to the main Illinois Extension page, and then I go to Connect, and I click on Find an Office, and I get this nice map here. And if I click
Can't see
on
it, Catherine.
oh,
Okay.
you can't see it? Okay, thank you. That popped up and shouldn't have popped up. Boom. I've lost my Zoom box as part of the problem here. Here we go. All right, share. So I'll move back for you to the beginning.
Okay, yeah.
Can you all see it now?
Yes.
Yep. I'm going to move back right away to the beginning here. So this is our main page. And what I do is I go up to Connect, find an office, and then I get the map of all our offices and I click on Cook County. And that takes us to our Cook County page. And believe it or not, that's how I do it every single time. If I want to find out about staff in Cook County, I go to About Us, click Staff, and I got the slow internet connection right now. But as I scroll down, you will find out about all our staff and how to connect to them. So here's our county director, our 4-H team. I'll scroll down and you see there's Tasha. We do have an educator at the Chicago High School for Agricultural Sciences, although he's not yet listed on our page. And so you can see there's our horticulture team, local food, small farms, natural resources, community health, and so on. I'm not going to scroll through the entire page. If you want to find out about what events we're having, go ahead and click on the events thing and you'll find a whole event listing that's day by day of what we have going on in the county and sometimes around the state, because so many of our programs are virtual now and free. So you can see what's coming up. We have these meditation mornings, one of our educator leads. We have nature wellness walk, and we have our pumpkin smashes that are starting this Saturday. So that's always a great place to go to find out what's going. I check it from time to time to find out what my colleagues are up to. And then of course, here on our page, you can even read our annual reports that we produce every year. So our 2003 one is here. And you can see that Local Food System Small Farms programs made it right onto the cover. I'm not going to go over it with you, but you can in your free time. So that's just a quick snapshot of Cook County. What I also wanted to feature here, and I'm going back to the main Illinois Extension page, are some of our other state programs and resources that you might not know about. So one of the questions that we get all the time is about cottage foods. And so I always have to go find our team that works on cottage foods because I can't remember. So the search box actually works really well. You can see I've typed it in many times. There's cottage food. I've typed it in. I'm going to search. And then this is the main page here. It's actually the second one down. So I open it up and there's tons of resources about how to be a cottage food seller. Regulations, trainings, guides. You can see here there's a food operators checklist, things about where you're allowed to sell, and training and courses. Some other things you might want to know about on this page are, let me go back to the main page, that always seems to help. Let me see. The plant clinic, that's a good one. So the plant clinic is a resource that's available statewide. And so if you're have identified some disease on your plants that you don't know what it is, you can send it to your local county office. So you could send it to our Master Gardener helpline, or to me, or to Sarah, or to Zach, but we might not be able to answer the question. But we have this plant clinic where you can actually submit a sample of your diseased plant and they will analyze it and get back to you. So that's a pretty neat service there. And there's forms here, how to do it, how to prepare a sample. And for large scale infestations, they may ask you to make a payment, or they may be able to identify it simply from a photo. For us, it's not always that easy to do. We'll do our best if you email us a photo of something like that, but sometimes it's a little difficult. Okay, I have a few more minutes to go over things on the website. Some of you might not know that we also have a state, let me see if I can just do this, climatologist that was on the other slide. His name is Trent Ford, and his job is to publish and research on our climate change issues. I didn't preload this one, so we'll see how we do if I can come up with him right away. Oh, so we did, luckily for me, we got, it looks like something he wrote, or this might link. Oh, it is a press release, it looks like, about some of his work. and a series called Everyday Environment. So Trent Ford was speaking at that. And so that's a great resource to know about and you can ask him questions about climate change. Does anyone have any questions on this or something they want to look for on the website? I know it's a massive website. It's been undergoing a huge amount of upgrading since I started working here 5 years ago. So our statewide pages are getting pretty much under control, where some of our unit pages might still be not have the most up-to-date information. But go ahead and explore it. It's actually working quite well now. You can search for topics here on the left. So if you had questions about beef cattle, you'd go there. Questions about insects, you'd go there. Soil, you'd go there. Soil is a good one to look at for our urban farmers. So you can find soil testing labs as a resource there. Here's a page that tells you how to collect a soil sample or how to interpret your test results of a soil test, and more. And as subtopics under here, you can see we have something on urban soils specifically, with some of our latest research that's here that my colleague Zach Grant participated in. We have information on composting as well. So take some time to explore it. There's so many resources here, and that even I don't know everything that's available. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing and then reshare my screen. There we go. Should be up now. And move to the next slide so we can dig in a little bit to what kind of programs do we have for urban farmers. The people who work on urban agriculture are myself, Zach Grant, and Sarah Botka. While we're all based in Cook County, we also serve urban farmers throughout the state. And so a lot of their questions from urban farmers, if they're in Peoria or East St. Louis or somewhere, get directed to us. They also participate in a lot of our training classes. So these are some of our offerings. Digging deep into data is a class about farm planning with spreadsheets. Our next offering is going to happen this December, and the focus is going to be specifically on balance sheets. Typically, these are 90-minute evening webinars that are held from 6:30 to 8 p.m. on different planning topics. The presentation includes a demonstration of how to use the spreadsheets, a free template, and it's followed, of course, by discussion and Q&A. After you participate in the virtual webinar, you can elect to attend an in-person session to build out your spreadsheets under the guidance or coaching of an educator, so either myself or Zach, and sometimes other guest farmers who we've identified as kind of topic experts or topic geeks in the planning topic. For December, Sarah Horner from Compeer Financial is going to join us as a coach. So these sessions are held at my office at 87th and Greenwood, usually on a Friday that follows the virtual session. Some other programs that we have are a quarterly legal series for small farms that's free for any Illinois resident to access. We offer the Produce Safety Alliance FSMA training. We have school and community garden training for people who want to start up a school or community garden and don't have experience doing this. Our team also offers a 12-week Master Urban Farmer training program it runs every fall. It's currently operating now and will open again for next fall. We offer field days where we either hold them at our research and demonstration farm in Matson, as that's pictured here on this picture, or with partner urban farms throughout the county. So hopefully, I haven't seen who's online, but some of you have probably attended some of those. We do have a quarterly newsletter that you can subscribe to by scanning that QR code. We'll also make sure to get links out to you for all these programs in a follow-up email. One of the things I want to mention that I skipped over on this slide, it's kind of an extension of the Digging Deep program, but we realized that a lot of our farmers could use some support during the winter planning months. So this year I'm holding Select Fridays open for people to either set a virtual appointment with me or an in-person appointment with me at the office. So those dates, I'll have 2 in December, 3 in January, and every Friday in February. So you can come in and have an hour appointment with me to discuss your planning issue, right? Maybe you're working on a business plan or a grant application and want to bounce ideas off someone or have someone review it. Maybe you're thinking about, where should I invest my money, in a high tunnel or more paid labor? Or maybe I need to develop a new market. You can come in and discuss these issues with me. And after you're done, you'd be welcome to stay and work in our conference room, use our internet, and have free coffee and tea. I can't promise snacks every time, but sometimes they'll likely be snacks. So, and then I guess the last thing on the slide that I want to talk about is the I Am Shy grant program. Some of you may have heard of this. It is a collaboration with the Illinois Farm Service Agency. That's a USDA agency. And these are grants that are available on a rolling basis from anywhere between $1,000 to $25,000. So hopefully you've all heard about this. It is available for Cook County residents, and any day now, we're hopeful that the grant manager will be starting their new position, and that should be rolling along much faster in the future. So I see that Sarah has put some links in the chat. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to James, who's going to talk about his programs. Go ahead, James, take it away.
Thank you, Catherine. I'm going to talk about the Illinois Nutrition Education Programs, also known as INEP. INEP is a web of nutrition education programs. It consists of SNAP-Ed, as well as our expanded food and nutrition education program. And these programs function kind of downstream or complementary to some of our urban ag programming. And they consist of direct education programs for the general public and policy systems and environmental changes that we implement with some key partners. So our direct education programs consist of educational booths. These are one-time activities to engage the public in topics like healthier substitutions for making meals, the My Plate food plan, and the different categories for a healthy diet, as well as making healthy choices for breakfast and using produce. We also share information on our monthly newsletter and healthy text program, as well as the Find Food Illinois online resource map. We also have recurring educational programs which offer cooking classes for children, adults, and families. For our policy systems and environmental changes, we partner with organizations like schools, food pantries, and other key community locations to implement changes that make healthier choices easier for their audiences. This can be done through environmental messaging, such as using posters and other signage to let people know where healthy options are or how they can include them in their diet through recipe cards. We call it shelf talkers. It can be small signage to highlight items that are low sodium or low fat, as well as bundling different items together so people can see how foods go together in a meal. Some work that we've done with farms include organizing farmers markets and providing some of that environmental messaging at farmers markets, and working with farmers markets on how to apply to accept SNAP payments as part of their business. In partnership with the Conservation Fund, we worked on what was called the Farm to Food Pantry Project, where the Conservation Fund had a USD Innovation Grant, and we're able to make some improvements to a farm in the south suburbs, as well as partner with some food pantries for donations to those to the local emergency food system. And that we were able to do some work on the food pantry environment to promote the healthy foods that they were providing. And as I know Catherine mentioned earlier, the Illinois Eats program, if you're familiar with that, we worked with that program to gather the partners who would be distributing the food within the community in Cook County. And that is, and I'll leave it there for the Illinois Nutrition Education Programs. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, James. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Tasha to talk about some of her food system related programming.
All right. Thank you, Catherine. Before we jump into the food systems portion of the program, I want to give you a little bit of information about 4-H. So what is 4-H? So head, heart, hands, and health are the 4 H's in 4-H, and they are the 4 values members work on through fun and engaging programs. 4-H is America's largest youth development organization. It is delivered by Cooperative Extension, a community of more than 100 public universities nationwide that provide experiences where young people learn by doing. It's research-based experiences that include mentor, a hands-on project, and a meaningful leadership opportunity for youth. We do this through clubs, camps, school enrichment, after school, and special interest programs to support positive youth development and help all youth thrive. So we have a couple of ways that we engage our audiences, and that's through our educators such as myself and our volunteers. Our youth development educators like me provide programs and workshops, typically in college and career readiness, STEM, environment, health and wellness, gardening, agriculture, and food access. So specifically in Cook County, we've been focusing on a lot of after school programs. We've started a summer camp this year, although we do have summer camps in most of the states. But this is new for us to Cook County. We have a 4-H mixed filling summer camp, which is hosted at the Sand Ridge Community Center in Calumet City, Illinois. It's a 4-week day camp for 5th through 8th graders focusing on health and wellness. The workshops provided in a camp includes junior chef, gardening, yoga, STEM, social emotional learning, and more. So the tentative dates for that program for next year are July 7th through August 1st, 2025. And registration typically opens early spring. So we'll have more information about that available, or how you can register in the follow-up email that Catherine will share. As Catherine mentioned, also we have our Junior Master Gardener program, which is not new. It's not a new program, and it's not new to 4-H at all, but it's new to Cook County for us and our training program that we'll be providing. The Junior Master Gardener program is an international youth gardening program of the University Cooperative Extension Network. Youth engage in hands-on garden-related projects. Most Junior Master Gardener groups take place in schools around the country and are taught by teachers as part of their classroom instruction. But there are many Junior Master Gardener groups that learn in informal settings, such as after-school programs, our 4-H clubs, scouts, and also summer camps. This upcoming spring, I'm excited to partner with our Chicago horticulture educator and our SNAP-Ed educators to lead a train-the-trainer workshop for teachers and youth workers and volunteers. This workshop is designed to prepare participants to successfully implement the Learn, Grow, Eat, and Go curriculum with their youth. Together, we'll explore practices through interactive presentations, hands-on activities, and actionable strategies for establishing a thriving teacher-friendly garden project. We'll also highlight accessible, time-saving resources that make bringing the curriculum and the Junior Master Gardener program to life and make it a little bit more easier for participants to implement. So you can definitely reach out to me directly if you have questions about that. Registration is not quite open yet, but we plan to have that train-the-trainer March 15th. That's our tentative date for now. But again, we'll have more information in a follow-up email. Now, as I mentioned before, the how 4-H works is our educational programs are provided by educators such as myself and our volunteers. Our volunteers help lead 4-H clubs, teach new skills, and serve as judges for our 4-H fairs, exhibits, competitions, or performances while providing encouragement and ways for youth to improve. Now, before youth are entered into the actual traditional club, if they're 5 to 7, they will participate in our Cloverbud program. This is more of a developmentally age-appropriate program for youth ages 5 to 7. Children are involved in non-competitive group activities rather than individual projects. Typically, 4-H Cloverbud children explore these subject areas such as healthy lifestyle, environmental and earth science, citizenship, and civic education, plants and animals, consumerism and family science, science and technology, personal development, and community and expressive arts. Now, for our more traditional 4-H clubs, youth are ages 8 to 18, and again, they're led by our volunteers. Each club has an adult volunteer leader who helps members in their 4-H journeys. Members meet together as a club at least 6 times a year during the year, and that's up to the club leader. They can meet more. During club meetings, 4-H members learn new skills such as public speaking, working together as a team, and making decisions. Members help out in their communities. Members lead activities while they practice the skills they'll need in school and careers. Next, we also have our special interest clubs, again, also led specifically by volunteers, and sometimes as educators, we'll lead a special interest club. The special interest clubs focus on one specific project or topic that members are interested in. Most of the meeting has been developing a new skill to help youth become very good in one project area. And some of the topics that they work on are typically like garden, cooking, sewing, shooting sports, etc. All right. And lastly, I wanted to share with you guys about an opportunity that we have available, and you don't necessarily have to be a 4-H member to apply for this. It's our food advocacy grant. This is a grant that is available up to $1,000. It's focused on creating leadership opportunities for 4-H youth interested in gaining practical skills to address food insecurity where they live. The grant is funded by the Illinois 4-H Foundation and Compeer Financial. It's open until October 31st. Now, we do have typically available, I believe, twice a year. So we'll come up again, but if there's somebody who is like, hey, I might be interested in this, but I need to maybe go back to my group and see if this is something that we can do, we can definitely extend that deadline. So just feel free to reach out to me and let me know if you're interested in. We can give you a little bit more time to apply for that. Again, you are not required to be in 4-H to apply for that grant, and it's a simple application. We would just need funding justification. Some of the past funded projects include community mini pantries, weekend backpack programs, school food distribution, nutrition education classes, a simple community garden, or just a way to support your, figuring out ways to support your local food pantries. So again, this is a project that is and should be led by youth. So the funding is available. So if you're interested, again, feel free to reach out. And that's all I have for you.
Great. Thanks, Tasha. I learned something. I didn't know about the food advocacy grants, so that was great. We do have a question from Carmen, and we have plenty of time. Carmen's asking about certifications. James, do you want to address that to the group? I see you put something in the chat, but maybe you can answer it live.
Sure, thank you. So aren't any particular certifications that are needed to participate in our programming? I just want to make sure that we match the correct programming with the right audience, and we can talk about different PSE work that we can do with our partners, but we need to know more about the particular partner.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
And with that, we are wrapping it up a little early, but I just want to remind you all, we have so many resources, right? And that as you heard, right, I don't know even things that my own colleagues are doing in my unit. So I pulled this graphic from our website a few weeks ago. It's on our main state page. And if you click on each of these graphics, you'll find an extensive home vegetable gardening site with multiple subpages. The middle one takes you right to the cottage food pages, in case you can't find it in the search box. And on the right-hand button takes you to a newsletter for home gardeners. That's a regular feature of our horticulture team. So do explore the website, do reach out to any of us if you have questions. Part of our job is, as extension educators, is to answer questions from the public in our subject expertise areas. And if we don't know the answer to the question, we reach out to our colleagues to see if they can answer the question. And if there's no one in our unit, we have our statewide network of 650 employees who someone in that network knows the answer to your question. And that's what we get paid to do. So email us. No question is a bad question. That's what we're here to do, is to bring those resources and all that information to you all. And with that, does anyone online have any questions or would like to unmute or like me to go back over something? Because I know that was a lot of information and it probably didn't cover everything that you want to know. I'll mention that online with us today is Sarah Botka. She's the program coordinator for the Local Food Systems Small Farm Team. She's a great contact for you all too. Sarah, do you have anything you want to chip in? Because you've been
No,
around. No,
but
you've
I'll
been.
go ahead and put in my contact information in the chat box.
Good, thank you. Sarah's a wealth of information. She's been around Illinois Extension longer than Tasha, James, and I have been. So she knows a lot, but again, not everything, but as many as possible, quite a bit. The next small farm training, Carmen, the next one we have coming up is, other than the FSMA training, which registration I think is closed, in December, we're offering the Digging Deep into Data series on balance sheets. And we also will have a December legal series that is virtual and free. And the topic in December, Sarah, help me out, is, I think it's forming an LLC. Does that answer your question, Carmen, or did you have something more? Okay, so those are what's coming up with our small farm programming. So Sarah just put it in. It's December 16th from 7 to 8 p.m. And it is forming an LLC. And I think she'll put the link in for the Digging Deep into Data, creating balance sheets for your farm business. Anyone else? It's a really small group, so if anyone wants to unmute, raise their hand, you're welcome to do that.
Catherine, maybe we could mention the Everything Local conference coming up in January. That's a big one that will
We'll
be.
go ahead and do that. Go ahead, Sarah.
Well, I guess I should have I spoke too soon because I'm not prepared. But we do have the Everything Local conference coming up in January. It's going to be in Springfield. It's very affordable if you're a member of either the Farm Bureau or the Farmers Market Association. And membership to those professional organizations is also very affordable. So but there is an urban agriculture track, and our extension educators will be presenting there and tabling, and it's a wonderful program for growers to network and expand their education. So I would encourage folks to look into that, and I'll drop a link in the chat box for that too.
Yep, and this year it's happening at the end of January in Springfield, Illinois. which is nice. They used to hold it right at the beginning of January, and you didn't really want to come back from a vacation and go straight to a conference. So. Well, I'm happy to hang out here if other people have questions or things they want to know about. But we're really here to serve all of you with your questions on. Like I said, there's no bad questions, so just ask away and we'll